Imagine a people whose story is woven into the very fabric of an archipelago, a story that began tens of thousands of years before the first Spanish galleons ever appeared on the horizon. This is the story of the Aetas, often called the first people of the Philippines. They were here first, living in harmony with the dense tropical forests and rugged mountains that have always been their home. Their presence is a living link to a prehistoric past, a time when humanity's relationship with nature was one of deep respect and absolute dependence. It's a connection that feels almost lost in our world today, which makes their story all the more vital. When you meet the Eta people, you're struck by their distinct appearance: dark skin, small stature, tightly curled hair, often light-colored hair. These features tell a story of ancient migrations and incredible adaptation. For centuries, they have been the guardians of the forests, their lives intertwined with the rustling leaves, the flowing rivers, the silent mountains. They are not just living on the land, they are part of it. Their story isn't just one of survival, it's one of resilience, of holding on to an identity in a world that is changing at a dizzying pace. It's a narrative that deserves to be heard, understood, and respected by everyone, but their story is also one of struggle. For generations, the Etas have faced displacement, discrimination, and a constant battle to protect their ancestral lands. Their deep connection to the earth has been threatened by logging, mining, and the relentless creep of urbanization. Understanding their journey is the first step towards understanding the complex, beautiful, and sometimes heartbreaking tapestry of the Philippines itself. To understand the Etas, we need to travel way back in time. We're talking tens of thousands of years. Scientific evidence, DNA studies, archaeological finds suggest earliest migrations out of Africa. They are believed to be descendants of the very first wave who reached the Philippine archipelago long before Austronesian groups arrived, who now form the majority. Think about that for a moment. Here, before the rice terraces were carved, before the great trading kingdoms were established, original inhabitants, true pioneers of these islands, hunter-gatherers traversing land bridges across Southeast Asia during the last ice age. When the ice melted and the seas rose, they became island dwellers, adapting to new environments. For millennia, in relative isolation in dense forests, developing a lifestyle in tune with their surroundings. Genetic links: Negrito groups in Southeast Asia, indigenous Australians, Papuans. A shared ancestry that tells an epic journey across continents and oceans. Their ancient roots run deeper than any other group in the Philippines. Their heritage is an irreplaceable part of the nation's soul and a window into humanity's deep history. For thousands of years, the Etas have mastered the art of living in the wild. Their entire world was the forest. It was their supermarket. It was their pharmacy. It was their sanctuary. Their traditional lifestyle was nomadic or semi-nomadic, moving in small family groups through their ancestral territory. They followed the seasons, they followed the fruiting of trees, they followed the movement of wild game. This constant movement wasn't aimless wandering. It was a system to prevent overexploitation of any single area, ensuring the forest could replenish itself. Their homes reflected this mobile lifestyle. They built temporary shelters, simple lean-tos made from branches thatched with palm leaves, thatched with banana leaves. These structures, pinanahans, could be erected in a few hours. Food was hunted and gathered. Men were traditionally the hunters, using bows and arrows to hunt wild pigs, deer, birds. They set ingenious traps. Women were the primary gatherers, with encyclopedic knowledge of edible plants. They knew safe routes, seasonal fruits, and medicinal leaves. This life fostered deep community and interdependence, an education for survival. Resilient, self-sufficient communities adapted to their environment. The core of Eta society is the family and the small, tight-knit community. An Eta community is more than an extended family where everyone looks out for one another. Decisions are often made collectively. Elders hold a special place of respect for their wisdom and experience. An Eta elder teaching a young boy how to craft a small bow. There isn't a rigid, formal hierarchy. Leadership is fluid, based on skill and knowledge. A skilled hunter may be looked to for guidance in hunting. A wise healer may be looked to for guidance in healing. Their communal spirit is the bedrock of resilience. Mornings might begin with the men preparing for the hunt. Men head out on fishing expeditions, preparing and checking bows and arrows, setting traps. Meanwhile, women venture into the forest in groups, gathering yams, gathering fruits, gathering medicinal herbs. Children tag along and learn as they go. Afternoons might be for rest and mending tools, weaving baskets from rattan, sharing stories around the fire. It was a life of hard work, but with a natural rhythm set by sun and seasons. Music and dance are woven into daily life and special occasions. Bamboo flutes, bamboo zithers, log drums. Their songs and dances mimic nature, the swaying of trees. Spirituality is deeply personal and connected to nature, animism. Spirits are seen in the mountains, rivers, ancient trees and rocks. This worldview fosters profound respect for the environment. The land is not just a resource, it's a living, sacred entity they are part of. The culture of the Aita people is honestly a treasure trove of ancient knowledge and artistic expression, a direct link to a past that predates most other cultures in the Philippines. One of the most fascinating aspects is their intimate knowledge of herbal medicine. For generations, they have relied on the forest as their pharmacy. Aita healers, known as Maganito, possess a deep understanding of hundreds of different plants and their medicinal properties. They know which leaves can be used to treat a fever, which roots can soothe a stomachache, and which barks can be made into a poultice to heal a wound. This is not guesswork. It is a sophisticated body of knowledge passed down orally through countless generations. Their storytelling tradition is another vibrant part of their culture. Without a written language for much of their history, oral traditions were the primary way of preserving their history, beliefs, and social values. Around the evening fire, elders would recount epic tales of creation, stories of heroic ancestors, and fables about the animals of the forest. Body ornamentation is also a significant cultural practice, though it is becoming less common today. One of the most well-known forms is scarification. Perhaps the most profound aspect of their culture is their philosophy of sharing and non-materialism. It is a powerful reminder that there are other ways to live. Other ways to define wealth and success based on community, relationships, and a harmonious balance with the natural world. The world of the Itas has been irrevocably changed. The nomadic lifestyle that defined them for millennia is now a rarity. Deforestation, driven by illegal logging, corporate agriculture, and mining operations, has decimated the forests that were once their home and their provider. Many Ita communities have been forced to abandon their traditional way of life and settle in permanent villages, semi-permanent villages, often on the fringes of lowland towns. An Ita mother and child in a modern village with a mix of traditional bamboo and modern corrugated iron materials in their home. This transition has been incredibly difficult as it severs their deep spiritual connection to the land and forces them to adapt to a completely different way of living, often without the necessary skills or support. In these new settlements, life is a constant negotiation between the old ways and the new. Discrimination is another daily battle. Because of their distinct physical appearance and different way of life, Aitas have long been subjected to prejudice and marginalization. Health and food security are also major concerns. As a result, many Aita communities suffer from high rates of malnutrition, particularly among children. Finally, the very survival of their culture is under threat. As the elders who hold the ancient knowledge pass away, there is a real danger that languages, stories, and skills will disappear forever. The Aita culture is not just a relic of the past, it is a living, breathing part of the Philippines' national identity. Their story is the nation's origin story. To forget them is to forget where the Filipino people truly began. Diverse multicultural society, pre-colonial roots, incredible diversity that makes the archipelago so unique. They are the keepers of the first chapter of the Philippines' history. Beyond history, the Itas hold knowledge relevant to our modern world, especially environmental sustainability. For millennia, they have lived in ways that respect and preserve the natural world. Traditional forest management, deep understanding of biodiversity, philosophy of taking only what is needed, lessons for a world facing climate change, deforestation, lessons for a world facing mass extinction. They are the original conservationists. guardians of the Philippine ecosystem. Their resilience is a national inspiration. Centuries of displacement, waves of colonization, eruption of Mount Pinatubo. Yet they are still here, still fighting for their rights, still singing their songs. The Aytos reflect the conscience of the Philippines. The Ayto people are a treasure to be cherished. It's easy to feel helpless when faced with such big challenges, but you can make a real difference in the lives of the Ayto people. The first and most important step is awareness. Read their stories, watch documentaries, listen to their voices, share what you learn with your friends and family and on your social media. So much of the discrimination they face comes from ignorance and misunderstanding. By simply helping to spread awareness, you are breaking down stereotypes and building a foundation of respect. If you are able to, consider supporting reputable non-governmental organizations or NGOs and community-led projects that work directly with Ayto communities. Look for groups that focus on empowerment rather than just charity, securing ancestral land rights, providing culturally sensitive education, supporting sustainable livelihood projects, improving access to healthcare. A small donation can go a long way towards funding a legal case for a land title, buying school supplies for children, or providing seeds for a community farm. Another powerful way to help is by being a conscious consumer and traveler. If you have the opportunity to buy products made by Ayto communities, do it. Purchase their woven baskets, their intricate beadwork, or the organic produce they grow. If you visit the Philippines, look for ethical tourism opportunities that are run by or in partnership with Ayto communities. Finally, you can become an advocate. Use your voice to support policies that protect Indigenous rights. Write to government representatives, sign petitions. Their story of resilience is ongoing. And with our support, we can help them write a future filled with dignity, opportunity, and hope.